Hey, welcome back to my channel. This is the secret behind Molly-Mae Hug. I think everybody wants to know, how does she do it? How does she do it? And so, as a brand strategist and someone who's been interested in archetypal psychology for quite some time, I would like to present my findings and my reasoning as to why Molly-Mae has been able to amass millions of followers. Okay, so love her or hate her, Molly-Mae is a force to be reckoned with. She's managed to amass, I believe, over 8 million followers, whether that be through her social media platforms such as Instagram. Yeah, 8.3 million followers on Instagram alone. Let's not take into let's not even take into account her YouTube subscribers as well as other platforms such as TikTok. And so when Molly-Mae entered the scene in Love Island, I kid you not, I mean, I knew she had something, right? Like she definitely had a personality, but I never knew she would ultimately become the benchmark of what it means to become an influencer. And that's a pretty high call, especially for someone as young as her. When she entered the Love Island show in 2019, she was only 20 years old. And so some might say, the frontal what's the development lobe, whatever it's called, isn't even fully, developed, or the frontal pre-cortex. Listen, I don't know exactly what it's called, but they be going on about it. But either way, she did actually have some experience in influencing beforehand, and I would say that served her well. But nevertheless, people have come and gone on that show, whether they have experience or not. But none have been able to actually command the attention and the engagement. Because there's one thing having followers. That's why I say she's really a force. But she actually manages to do what is in the title of her job description. She influences people. She moves nations. And by that I mean her followers and her subscribers or supporters, they span different and a multitude of nations. And so that's what I would say really makes her powerful. And so after this, she, aside from having a profitable career as an influencer, was also able to launch a successful self-tanning brand, Filter by Molly-Mae, and was named as one of the youngest creative directors in the fashion industry for the giant that is Pretty Little Thing. Now, all thoughts and opinions aside about the ethicality or morality, it is, a reputable fashion house in the modern day, especially amongst, I'd say Gen Z and millennials. And so that is a pretty big feat. And so when it was revealed in October 2024 that she would be launching her own fashion brand, I'm sure everyone was just like, oh, yeah, great. She's got this in the bag. This is Molly-Mae. However, I would say it was actually quite a, surprising turnaround for most. And I was a little bit surprised, I can't lie. But then once I actually saw the reveal, because everything was quite hush hush, I was able to figure out why there were such mixed reviews. And I think the key to this is sometimes the way you get them is the way you're going to lose them. And I'm going to explain this by explaining her archetypes. So you see, when it comes to archetypal psychology, this branch of psychology, which was mainly developed by Carl Jung and is known as Jungian psychology, says that, each person has different archetypes. And the subset of psychology that I'm really interested in was developed by Aisha K. Faines, which then goes on to say that woman, all of the myths that are presented in like the Greek myths or the ancient Roman myths or the, Egyptian myths, all of them aren't deities per se, but they are actually ways that people used, stories to understand the psyche of people and of women. And so within each woman, there are different archetypes, but you can predominantly have, more of a love archetype, which is represented by, Halle Berry, or you can have more of a mother archetype. And so I would say, from an outside in perspective, that Molly-Mae combines a unique perspective of the sage archetype as well as the mother archetype. And aside from that, from the whole Jungian psychology, I would also say archetypes can exist, just from, other philosophers or thinkers, and they exist in movies and books. And one that we may all be familiar with is the girl next door archetype. And so when it comes to archetypes personality, what do we know about Molly-Mae's personality? Well, she's down to earth. And so that's when the girl next door archetype kicks in, and as well as the mother archetype. She loves fashion. She really cares about how she looks. And then I would also say that, that's also part of slightly intertwined with the mother, but more of a lover archetype. And then finally, business savvy. Okay, she's about her money. And so that's where the sage archetype comes in. So now I'm just going to give you a few official definitions of each one. And so the girl next door archetype is a term used to describe a female archetype and fashion aesthetic, which can range in terms of personal definition, but usually denotes a girl or woman who appears to, appeal to the hearts of many due to her upholding traditional all American gender norms with the allure of purity, simplicity, and charm, and with a natural, modest, or effortless beauty. And so we watched Molly-Mae leave the villa and gradually leave behind, the heavy filler look that was, pretty popular at the time. And she decided to opt a more natural look. And this was met with much praise online as well as through, print media, the tabloids. And this, transformational journey of going back to her state of au naturel really encouraged people to believe that, yeah, Molly-Mae really is authentic, and wow, Molly-Mae really is down to earth, and she's really easygoing, and she really does possess this effortless style and effortless beauty. And so you can see how she's a perfect online caricature of the girl next door archetype. And so, through her time on Love Island and personable YouTube videos, she also quickly arose as the nation's princess, for a lack of a better term. Numbers show, however, the sentiment spanned, a plethora of nations, as I previously mentioned, which is a power in and of itself to really grasp the hearts of people that span different cultures. Really take that in. And so I would say also the ability to be seen as someone that's comforting for many people is why I would say that she also may pertain a lot of mother archetype within her personality. And so when it comes to the mother archetype, this is, also seen in other personalities such as Aisha K. Curry. I say this because, a down-to-earth demeanor can express itself in a multitude of ways. Someone that's like really earthy and cares about the environment, they can be down to earth, but you might, well, now I'm even saying that and it's like, yeah, Mother Earth. So yeah, but someone who's very like bohemian, might be considered a little bit too free spirited, but the mother archetype, especially the lady, because within Aisha K. Fane's 7 archetypes, there are again different subsets. The lady is someone who also presents with the all American traditional values, whereas bohemian can be seen as a bit eccentric. So nothing wrong with being bohemian, just to say that, and it's still, you can still be motherly if you are bohemian. It's just the fact that the way Molly-Mae presents is more of the lady mother. um and so a common sentiment I said, expressed amongst the followers, is that she's very nurturing, and the mother archetype possesses a unique ability to nurture others, grow others, and this can also lend itself in business. The ability to follow through and nurture and grow your business is something that mothers have to manage a household, nurture and grow their children. So you see how the two correlate. And then finally, business girly, definitely a sage archetype. And so the sage archetype represents a woman's capacity for wisdom, strategy, and objectivity. Listen, Molly-Mae came into that video with a plan. Okay, she had a mission and she executed it well. Like, oh, I love the brain. I love the brain so much. And she's a lethal weapon for garnering success in the marketplace. Yet, and I say this with a heavy yet, even with all of her wits and her strategy, and shout out to her manager, Fran, neither herself nor her talent manager were able to perceive that, this new business venture wouldn't fare so well for her. And because I'm looking at it from more of an archetypical, listen, you know what, yeah? Please allow me. I am learning new languages. And when I'm in the middle of learning new languages, my tongue is just like, it's getting, it's switching between both languages. So yeah, bear with me, please. But yeah, neither her or Fran were able to conceive how her same down to earth personality, which brought in the success, brought in the money, whether it be through Pretty Little Thing or other, hair partnerships, it might also be her downfall when it comes to her own fashion line. And you're probably thinking, why? The people love her. But, when you've positioned yourself as being down to earth, that can also mean that people don't necessarily expect you to price yourself as, someone who is pricey. And so here we have the traditional trajectory of influencers. Normally, because when you go on a TV show where you literally publicize your whole life for a set period of time and people get to see you at your worst, maybe at your most, comfortable, at your most vulnerable, whatever it is, people are used to consuming you for the free 99, okay? And so they get to know your personality, and from that they usually evolve to, becoming media personalities and just promoting products that are able to be easily accessible for most people in terms of price point. And so Molly-Mae, for the most part, did follow this trajectory, whether or not she did it on a higher level or not. She did, but now she seems to be deviating a bit and trying to, enter into the more of the luxury market. And so I just want you to look at this picture on the screen. What can you see a little bit of a disconnect? Like, we have tanning product, which is, again, whether or not it might be higher end tanning product, it's still, rather easily accessible. You have Pretty Little Thing, and then you have a premium fashion line. The line, the trajectory it doesn't really make sense in the lines of most people. And another clear example of where the trajectory just didn't really make sense, even though the person in question, which was Rihanna, had millions of followers, was Rihanna's move from music to, I believe it was makeup next, to high-end luxury fashion. Music, just like I would say, Pretty Little Thing, consumed by many due to free or cheap access. Then you have the makeup, which is equivalent to Molly-Mae's, filter tanning products. Might be a little bit more high end, but it's still consumed by many. And then you have a steep jump into a luxury fashion brand owned by LVMH. And so it's no surprise you've positioned yourself as someone who's one for the many, one of the people, queen of the people, and then you decide to launch something that is very exclusive. There's going to be a disconnect. There's going to be a disconnect because branding is all about the mental associations that people have put you in and have put you with. And so if you see this here, when people think of Molly-Mae, the mental associations are Pretty Little Thing or Love Island or YouTube or Comfort. And so now she's tried to launch this premium brand. And I believe, she decided to hire a Bentley for the photo shoot. But the mental associations, people cannot compute Pretty Little Thing next to Bentley. And I know she probably thought she could overcome this hurdle of the way people perceive her rather quickly just by doing one photo shoot. But when it comes to anything in life, fast is slow and slow is fast. It's going to take a bit more time than one single photo shoot for people to be like, oh, yeah, she's luxury now. Yeah, okay, got it. And so that is where her downfall really lies. And I just like to say briefly, if you feel like you'd like to learn more about your own personal archetypes, I will link down, below the quizzes you can take as well as descriptions of the different archetypes. And just a little disclaimer as well. As I said, these archetypes are just meant to describe your personality. You as a being are more than your personality. I believe that everybody has a soul, spirit, and a body, three in one. And I also believe that, God made us in his image. So it's really important to get to know yourself, from the creator's perspective if you do have a faith. But if not, don't, just take, these personality archetypes as your end all be all. You are more than just your personality. And even with all that we see of Molly-Mae, I don't live with her day to day. So like I said, this is just an outside in looking perspective. But yeah, moving on, as I said, fast is slow and slow is fast. It's going to take more than a photo shoot for people to just believe that, okay, now I'm going to band her as someone who is, luxury. No, you've gone from opening yourself up to millions of people due to your vulnerability to now being like, oh yeah, only a select few can actually, have my product. And so it's going to take a couple more photo shoots, a couple more interviews. And I would say she is actually trying, you know, she did the Vogue photo shoot, which I thought was really good, like what's in my bag. And then now we also see that she's done an Amazon Prime reality show, and I haven't actually watched it yet, but it's almost like you're putting yourself back into the I'm easily accessible by many category, and that's not necessarily something you want to do. Now, granted, this may also be a great opportunity for people that don't previously know her to learn about her brand, and so they haven't built up that mental association. So this Amazon Prime show could go one way or the other, but in general, I would say if I was on her team, maybe reel it in, with the reality shows, maybe reel it in a bit with the accessibility. But we'll see how things go with maybe, honestly. I am hoping the best for her because, the true path to wealth is really having, something that you can call your own and having a diverse number of streams of income. And I would also say that with time, anything is possible. We don't know what she has in store. Molly-Mae, she might have something that will just blow us out of the water and completely transform the way we see her. But yes, aside from that, I would also say that yeah, just seek outside expert counsel, because if you're so used to just working in a silo, and I don't say this just to like plug myself, I say this to someone myself who also seeks outside counsel. It's always good to get an outside perspective of what you're doing. And I'm not sure exactly how much Fran was involved in this business move or if she's just a talent manager. But either way, if you're going to do like a big jump, definitely, definitely seek outside counsel. And so if you're watching this and you're an influencer, or you're somebody who wants to make a jump into something new, definitely see if any of my services will be of good use to you. I do offer sales and branding strategy, where I combine the lens of my interest and knowledge of archetypal psychology, as well as my experience in sales and branding for independent artists as well as independent businesses. And yeah, other than that, if you just like to, consume knowledge, make sure you hit the subscribe button, guys. I'm here. I have so many, videos planned that I can't wait to release. And, thank you for watching so much. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.